There are 8 major endocrine glands in the body, produce hormones released directly into the bloodstream where they travel to the target cells throughout the body. Of these, hypothalamus, pituitary gland, pineal gland, located in the brain, plays a vital link between the nervous system and endocrine system. And there is a butterfly-shaped thyroid gland located in the neck, hugging the trachea, and the parathyroid gland posterior to the thyroid gland. And there is a pancreas in the upper abdomen behind the stomach. And there is an adrenal gland in the posterior abdominal area on each kidney. And there is a gonads, ovaries in the lower abdominal area in the pelvic cavity, and the testes and the scrotum outside the abdominal cavity. And the thymus gland located in the upper chest, behind the sternum, in front of the heart, is active before the puberty with the T cell development and the immune system function, and not as active and shrink down as the person ages. Nervous system and endocrine system work together. They are not isolated, maintaining the homeostasis and regulating the bodily functions through neuroendocrine system. While the nervous system provides rapid electrical short-lived responses, endocrine system provides slow chemical long-lasting responses. Hypothalamus produces several key hormones and neurohormones that regulates the pituitary gland, metabolism, and bodily functions. So the hypothalamus produces growth hormone releasing hormone, thyrotropin releasing hormone, which stimulates the pituitary to produce the thyroid stimulating hormone, corticotropin releasing hormone, gonadotropin releasing hormone, somatostatin, which is the growth hormone inhibiting hormone, and dopamine, which is a prolactin inhibiting hormone, oxytocin, which is produced in the hypothalamus, released in the posterior pituitary, which helps to stimulate the uterine contractions during the childbirth and with the milk ejection, and antidiuretic hormone, which is vasopressin. It is again produced in the hypothalamus, released by the posterior pituitary gland, helps with regulates the water balance and blood pressure. So these hormones act as a bridge between the endocrine and nervous system, managing the body's growth, metabolism, and reproduction. So now the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland has the anterior part and the posterior part. Anterior part of the pituitary gland is connected to the hypothalamus through its vascular structures. Anterior part of the pituitary gland produces growth hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, prolactin, follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone. Posterior part of the pituitary gland is connected to the hypothalamus through its neural structures, and it produces oxytocin and antidiuretic hormone, which is also called the vasopressin. So now the pineal gland, which secretes melatonin, which helps regulate our circadian rhythm, which is biorhythm, which involves our sleep-wake cycle. Remember this circadian rhythm? We will talk about it later. And the thyroid gland produces thyroxine and triiodothyronine, which helps to regulate the major metabolic processes. It also produces calcitonin, which regulates the blood calcium level. And the parathyroid hormone raises the blood calcium levels. And the adrenal gland. So the adrenal gland has the inner medulla and the outer cortex. Inner medulla produces adrenaline and noradrenaline, so which is responsible for the fight or flight response. And the outer cortex produces glucocorticoids mineralocorticoids. Glucocorticoid is a cortisol which increases blood glucose levels, which plays a role in stress and inflammation. Mineralocorticoids helps to absorb the sodium levels and excretion of the potassium, and also it produces adrenal androgens. The cortex part of the adrenal gland produces adrenal androgens. Beta cells of the pancreas produces insulin which reduces blood glucose level. Alpha cells of the pancreas produces glucagon which increases blood glucose levels. And the gonads. Ovaries produces estrogen and progesterone which regulates the menstrual cycle, the supporting the pregnancy and the development of female secondary sexual characteristics. And the testes produces the androgens, mainly the testosterone, which helps in the development of male secondary sexual characteristics and the sperm production. So certain amount of hormone is needed for the body to function well. So what are the common causes of the hormonal imbalance? Life stages, which is quite natural: puberty, pregnancy, menopause, perimenopause, andropause, male menopause. Lifestyle changes like chronic stress, lack of sleep, disturbed sleep, poor diet. So the body's clock is disturbed, sleep is disturbed, hormonal release is disturbed, and body's temperature is disturbed. And the medical conditions like polycystic ovary syndrome and thyroid disorders. So when I said lifestyle changes, our circadian rhythm is disturbed, our biorhythm is disturbed. Yeah. So how to reset this? So what are the signs and symptoms of the hormonal imbalance? Unexplained weight loss or gain, fatigue, insomnia, irregular or missed periods, decline in libido, erectile dysfunction, muscle loss, digestive issues, changes in the appetite, anxiety, depression, infertility. So if you suspect a hormonal imbalance, consult a healthcare professional for blood tests and endocrinology review to find the exact cause. Especially with the PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome, and thyroid disorders needs a medical intervention. So it needs a holistic approach, a biopsychosocial approach. So how do we correct our circadian rhythm? Reset our body, breath, and mind. So right food, right amount, right time. Similarly with the sleep, rest. Meditation calms the nervous system. Yes, if you have heard the vagus nerve reset. And deep breathing exercises, pranayama, and certain yogic internal cleansing processes like Shat Karmas. One of my favorites of Shat Karmas is Dauti, which is Shankha Prakshalan, is my favorite. When I did it, I really felt very light in my body. My mind is empty. I liked it. So certain yogasanas help balance the hormones by stimulating the glands. So the asanas like Purvottanasana, Paschimottanasana, Uttarasana, Malasana, Setubandhasana, Sarvangasana, Adhamashendrasana, Mathyasana, Dhanurasana, Bhujangasana, and Naukasana, and the Padmasadhana, the beautiful sequence of asanas, coordinating the movement with the breath, and Surya Namaskars. All these asanas involves all the spinal movements, so that really helps to with the full mobility of the body. So these asanas should be done under the proper guidance.